You never double-checked the narrative you never cross-referenced the narrative that you were fed. You believed it hook, line, and sinker, and now your happiness will be diminished. People in general do not want their belief systems to be challenged. They want to hear things that pump them up. They don't want to be consistently challenged. So the reason why what people often do is they use groupthink in order to save themselves mental energy, and then they parrot back the opinions of the herd because they think that that gets them approval and safety. Literally.
I wanted to comment on what I just heard and what I just played because it was very powerful and I could relate to what he was saying. What he described to me can be applied to a circumstance that I found myself in the last 8 years. I'm in a well-documented custody battle for my 2 children. And throughout that time, I've watched these stories get created, and I've watched the people who do what he said, they hook, line, sinker, they readily bite into the false narratives because they already wanted to hear that. And when I think about being in a situation where people are seeking out to hear something, and you say to yourself, damn, there's actual facts here, but they're seeking out something else. And so as he described it, I thought about the circumstance, and I was like, well, it's mostly women and some of the weakest men on earth given a position where they can try to act strong. Weak, cowardly men given a position where they can act like the hero to satisfy the group, because overall most people are weak and most people fear the strong. So in the situation when you are strong, you become the bad guy. I was breaking down to a guy in the Father's Rights movement how custody court is like a place, like theater. The mother comes in as the damsel in distress. She needs to be saved. And the court wants to play the hero, and you are the bad guy. You're the villain. These roles are already typecast. So you're not able to be your children's hero, and she's not able to be the villain. The story can't be made that way. This dynamic itself is very clear. So when the discussion comes down to bias and discrimination, prejudice, how is there even a defense? Then at that point, you're being gaslit. They're gaslighting you, and they're attempting to drive you insane. And then if they can't drive you insane, if you're able to stay stable-minded and you're able to see ahead of the curve what's going on, they attempt to do their best move, which is extortion of you. This comes through isolating you from your child and then implementing child support, which is extortion of what I'm zoomed in on, the almighty dollar. The woman who was so strong and so independent is now so needy and so helpless. It's interesting how that works, how in this dynamic people can just slide side to side. It's just an ever swinging scale. One moment you are a complete degenerate, but then if you say, okay, I'm a degenerate, I don't have anything. Nope, you're a functional person who can make all type of money. See, slide. It slides to the side, whichever is counter to your position. It's amazing. I mean, I really, I've been through a lot of things in life and I've seen a lot of things in life. But this here, oh man, this made me view life in a detestable way. It made me have to can belief and faith and the truth and the law itself. The law means nothing. The law is a matter of words to be twisted and convoluted. It means nothing. And the only reason it has any authority is force. So to counter that, you need equal, opposite, or superior force. This nation wasn't gotten under goodwill, under good character. It was gotten under theft and force for profit and gain. All gods, everyone's God, watched it happen. and did not stop it. I recited a scripture about when the wise king had to judge between the two women whose child it was, and when he said he would cut it in half, the real mother screamed no, and the other one was willing to let it happen because she was evil and the child wasn't hers and she had lost her child. So it actually would have made her feel good for the woman to have lost her child as well. It cost her nothing to have lost that child, but the other person, it cost them everything. It was the best metaphoric reference I could give to what was happening. And I was interrupted by that. And I take high offense and insult to that by a Judge Patrick Conlon Jr. in my hearing. And to the day I die, will be vehement and adamant in bringing justice to all people who conspired in the dynamic, who broke said laws, rules, procedures, who cheated and lied. Those people will be brought to justice.